Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor URANUS, Sailor Skyworld, Amara here, and today we're going to talk about, the unstraight. Now, I know that I talked about this many times, and we could break it down into, a saga if any of you folks want to see that. So, the first unstraight we talk about ourselves. Well, first off, we talk about ourselves. Now, in every other telling of Sailor Moon, in the books, and the Toei, and Viz, and any other, offshoot there is as far as it goes, we were unstraight. And a lot of folks have their beliefs over why we, the way we are. And some folks know that in the Pioneer Glee or Pathseeker Glee Sailor Moon were Nearkin. So only in one telling is Sailor Moon that we're not unstraight. And a lot of folks tended to scathe that and think that Pioneer or Pathseeker Glee should have been more mindful and more understanding about that in 20.0. Now, keep in mind that 20.0 at YL wasn't that too far away from between 95 YL though, so the same mindset was there. Pioneer Glee, who had won the rights to work with Sailor Moon after the Walt Disney business and Deke Glee's deal ended, did not want to freak out anyone at the Folkworks that couldn't handle that thing at the time. And the only two Folkworks they had to deal with was YTV in the Settled and Cartoon the 4-1 Reichs. Now, if there were any other Folkworks that had deals with it, I was unaware of it. And also worried about teachers and bearers and worship leaders being, scathing it, because there were and still are some folks in this world who believe that having anything unstraight in a show, film, or play for children was seen as wrong. It wasn't, but that's what they believed. And a lot of folks watching Sailor Moon S, either on YTV or on Cartoon, whatever, said that the words and said that what we were saying didn't match up to what was being done. And yeah, you can't go through and shift, someone, the holding of the hand, or the hugging, or whatever was going on. You can't shift that out, And a lot of folks are like, well, why were you both nearkin? Like, you both didn't have the same last name. Well, Neeby, my bearers had one name, and Michelle's bearers had another name due to one being wedlocked into the kin. It was never truly said. And Pioneer Glee had to come up with some grounds to why we were for the kinship, And a lot of folks seem to think that we were the first unstraight folks in Sailor Moon, or believe we were the first unstraight folks in any drawing show, and that wasn't true. I mean, I don't know the first drawing show from Dawnland or whatever that had unstraight folks in it. And some folks seem to think, oh, Sailor Moon was the first, but so I don't know. But I could tell you that as far as Sailor Moon went, there were at least two other unstraight folks that some folks like to talk about. Zoisite, but in Deke's world, Zoisite's a woman, and Fisheye. But then at the end of the day, after watching Pioneer 1 and the Viz 1, in my belief, Fisheye is a woman. Sorry. You can believe whatever you want. You got that right. You got that freedom. Now, a lot of folks always didn't like how we were handled, not only for that, but believed that that didn't like us due to our mindset or due to our stand. They're like, oh, well, you're all about yielding a life for the greater good instead of, fighting for the greater good and keep everyone alive. Didn't you know that you had the luck? Didn't you know you had the holy stones in you? Well, to be earnest, we didn't know. Me and Michelle, I didn't know. And when Michelle first awoke into Sailor Neptune or Sailor Sea World, she was in learn like I was, and she only got a sight of some big catastrophe happening. And that was it. And it wasn't until after I awakened as Sarah URANUS and chose to become Sarah URANUS of Sailor Sky World that she let me know that we had to work together. That there was this evil that was coming and we didn't know who or what this evil was. All we knew is that there were these stones that had to be seeked, and we didn't know if A, we had them, or B, other folks had them. So every time the Death Blasters or the team of bad behavior would seek someone, we would see if this stone happened to be the one we were looking for. Not knowing that we had that God gave us the stones that everyone was truly looking for. And sorry for that mindset. If me and Michelle could have gone back in time, we could have said, we could have said, we will fight for the greater good and we help to keep folks alive. But we didn't at the time. We couldn't go back in time and undo that mindset. So I am deeply sorry for anyone who felt that it was the wrong mindset to have. It was Sailor Moon Serena that taught us that fighting for the greater good is one thing, but if you have to yield a life to keep the world going, then that's not a good thing. So I learned a lot from that. But now I'm getting way off track. The grounds is that how Sailor Moon handled the Unstraight is not how every other drawing show did it. And the way that Deke and later on Pioneer would handle it is not the way other folks would handle it. And why they chose Nearkin is beyond us. I believe since we were already women, we couldn't become women. And I believe that it was the only thing they could come up with for our bond, our kinship, as you will. So at the end of the day, I think that was the only answer I can come up with because I truly don't know. Well, if you like this film, give it a like, share and playlist it, and we'll see you later.